it too loud in your headphones or good?
No, it seems fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. It seems cool.
Nervous?
A little bit. It's weird, you know, like I didn't even like going up in front of the class and,
Yeah.
you know, like in school, it's like they call me, I'm like, fuck, you know, now you're doing this. You're like, oh, whatever.
Let's talk about your rat.
All right, cool.
I think it's fucking sick. So you do airbrushing, you do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I kind of started all that shit like 15, 20 years ago when I was doing tournaments and like,
Yeah.
back then, like.
Were you tweaking out then? Were you like
oh God.
So like making custom ass shit then?
Dude. Anything that gave me an advantage. Like,
yeah.
Like Beacon Koch always make fun of me. Like, you take the fun out of fishing, dude. You know, like you take the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So way back then in like 2005.
Bring the mic a little closer.
Like the only other rat I was really like worth fishing was Scott's rat.
Okay.
You know, Whitmer, you know, the Nazuma. Like that thing was the shit. And
did Rago already have?
He did. Just I kind of never really fished his stuff.
Really?
Like, you know, I don't for no reason in particular.
Yeah.
I just never did.
Yeah. Was it hard to get to?
Everything was kind of then, you know.
And like, this was 90.
Well, the first, that was like 2004.
2004, okay.
But like, I think our first swim bait fishes were like I said, my pops. Like, and then he used to take me up to Castaic when Bob Krupe was soaking crawdads. Like Alan Cole, like when the AC plug first came out, you know, so they all had to go out and buy 2 or 3 of each, you know, and I'm like, they weren't looking. I'd pick the rod up and steal it and throw it. You know, they're like, put that down. You're going to break it off.
Yeah.
And,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, right. It was, dude. I remember like back then they were still super pricey.
Fuck.
And that bait was rad. That bait was really cool. And
your rat?
The rat was, I'm trying to think where that originally started. It started a long time ago from an old MS Slammer, honestly.
Okay.
Like I broke it and I just started like taking a Dremel tool, messing around in the garage, like shaping it, you know, like, what can I make out of this? You know, I broke it. Like, can I still use it? So I just started like Frankensteining it down and we took it out to Diamond and it got smoked. We're like, oh, rad. And then that was kind of the one I fished forever. And then when we bought this house around the corner right here, right by Cerritos, I was fishing a bunch of rats. The Nazuma, that Johnny Rat's sick. And but it seemed like it was too big for the park. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I need to carve me down like a little gangster one. So I carved up like a little micro one, like probably about that big, to take down to the park. And I was swimming it and like, oh, I wonder if this thing's gonna like get bit. And it's all, like, oh shit, that was rad. It wasn't even painted yet, you know. So we started painting it and fishing this and that little shape was getting smoked. And I was like, I should carve a bigger version of this. So I carved a bigger version and dude, I like it. It's rad. Yeah. I'm like, it took like 14 different variations to like make it do everything I want it to do. Cause it walks, you know, you can run it under deep and bounce it off of stuff. You can wake it. It's like insanely versatile. Like I make silent models. I'll make squeaking models. Like,
do you do everything on it then?
Everything. Oh yeah. Did you carve it?
Weight it? Dude, did you have to weight it at all?
Well, you do, but you depend on like your recipe kind of, so to speak, you know, like, cause the stuff like that you use, like the resin stuff, like I carved it out of wood and then you make like a little reverse mold of it, you know, and then you pour
like a bait, just
like anything else, you know, like the same thing.
Yeah.
And you pour a little resin deal and then the resin sinks like originally, like it sinks.
Yeah.
You have to add micro balloons to make it buoyant. So, I mean, if you make it super, super buoyant, there's certain times you have to like weight it to like ballast it to get it to keel and do what you wanted to do. But if you fuck with it enough, you can make it to where you don't even need weights. Mm-hmm. It's pop it out of the mold, slap a lip in it, dude, and it's doing exactly what it wants to do, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all on how much time you want to spend on messing with it. And
plus you got to paint it.
Well, yeah.
That's a whole nother.
That is a whole nother beast. Like I said, luckily for me, we have Coast Airbrush like right down the street. It's
I talked to Matt. So my cousin runs classes there. He's big airbrusher. His name's Steve Van Diemen.
Oh, okay.
He taught me I used to airbrush Lucky Crafts like 8 years ago.
All right.
When I surf fished, I'd repaint them. He kind of gave me everything to do it. I bought Coast. I just went there, kept buying colors, got a shitload.
Dude, those dudes are the coolest too. Yeah. Like I used to go in there like all nervous to like ask questions.
It's intimidating,
you know, because you look at their shit on the wall and these guys are badasses, you know, and you're like, hey, I'm trying to paint my lure, you know. Like,
that's how I felt the first time.
Seriously. But they're super friendly, super helpful. Like,
and then the first time I went in, I'm like, oh, my cousin Steve Van Diemen, and the guy goes, he's white, you're Mexican. I'm like, I'm telling you. So they're like, he's right there. Go say hi to him. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, hey. And he stops the fucking class and goes, hey. And I'm like, see, you fucking cunt. You know, like.
Yeah. Made me interrupt his class, guy. But,
but that's cool, man. And that's been there for a minute too, right?
Oh, dude, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Because like it was funny because like I started out and I bought this shitty little one from like Michael's, you know, the little kid. No, I didn't even know about that yet. You know, I wasn't savvy.
And that works decent,
dude. It works fine.
I think that one works okay,
dude. It works killer.
It's the compressor, I think.
Yeah.
That if you don't have the right compressor, you're fucked.
That's why I went and bought the whack compressor from Michael's, the whack kit. I'm starting to paint shit. I'm like, dude, this fucking shit looks stupid. I'm just ruining baits. What am I doing? You know. So I went in there and that's what they told me. I bought this sick little Iwata studio compressor, I you know, the little studio series guy. He's rad. Yeah. I still use it to this day. It's rad. And then they just dialed me in.
What do you like using for your epoxy on those? Just
I like to use that SEM, that 2-part clear, the aerosol stuff, honestly.
Really?
Dude, that stuff is like nails. It's the stuff they use for like auto fenders and stuff.
Really?
Like it's kind of pricey, you know. It's
Where
like,
do you get that from?
Coast.
Really?
Oh, dude, Coast is the one.
I didn't know they had that too.
Dude, they got all.
You're giving everyone the fucking secrets right now, dude.
I know. I was like, delete this, dude. Like, I'm gonna have people call me all mad, dude. Like, hey, dude, what the fuck? Giving the milk away for free, dude.
Yeah, because I use the DevCon, but I just feel like it never got right. It's too either thick, too tacky, too something.
The 2-part, dude. You literally crack the bottom, shake it up,
ready to go. Yeah, one coat.
And depends what you're fishing.
Yeah.
You know, like the more coats, the more it affects the action. So if you're making like a glide bait that's super temperamental, you know, yeah, you know, like fingers crossed, you know. But if you're making some super buoyant wake bait like my rats, like you're gonna bounce off docks and rocks, and it's like, you know, I'll give it like 4 or 5 coats at least.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to where I'm like, all right, like that'll work.
Do you sell those rats too?
Yes and no.
If someone messages you and go, hey.
Yeah, like it's not even really, I kind of did it. Honestly, the only reason I got into it is because the wind blew so goddamn much this spring. You know, like if the wind wasn't blowing, that shit wouldn't even have happened because I've been out fishing. So it's kind of like I have all this pent up energy that I don't know what the hell to do with. So I would just sit in the garage and like make shit for poor Cerritos around the corner and go pester them.
That's not far either.
Oh, dude. Like,
do you hit Ralph B ever?
I used to hit there a lot, like way back in the day. The Groms have overran that place now, dude. Like 10 years ago, like you used to walk through there and have a good time.
There's another lake that people don't really go to around here too.
There's a couple of them.
And I like going there sometimes.
Yeah.
And some people have done really good there. And I'm like, fuck, man, you caught that there.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, usually I don't go. I go to, I'll go there for bluegill for the kids. And stuff,
yeah, dude, that's hard to beat, dude.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
But
you seem like a dude that, do you like get into something and then kind of get over it and then do the next thing? You know what I'm saying? Do you only are you only entertained so long in one type of fishing?
Yeah, I have ADD. I'll get like.
Do you do fly fishing too?
I not like to the extent. I lived up in the Mammoth area, like from like 20 to 22, and did the whole like live with your buddies and get wasted and snowboard and work on the mountain deal.
Yeah.
But I still took rods with me when I went up there, and I would go hike all the creeks and everything, and with like little spinning, like 0 power Loomis drop shot rods.
Yeah.
You know, and little tiny crappie jigs. You can go
fun, huh?
Dude, you can go bang on all those fish. Like you don't need to, I mean, but it's a whole art. But the thing that I liked about it, you have like, there's certain areas only the fly guys could fish because of the overhang. You know, they can't sit there and whip and serve and do all that. So I like the little spinning rod because I can go hike under this whole area that these guys haven't. Yeah, these guys haven't fished there forever. So I'm like skipping stuff in there, like just banging on them.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we have that Bob Marriott's right here.
Yeah.
And that place is like, dude, I get all my jig tying stuff from there.
I tweaked out there too for a minute.
Oh, same here.
I bought I took the class. I bought a Temple Fork Outfitter reel rod. Okay. Sat in front of my house and slapped myself in the face about 50 times and said, fuck this. I went for perch. So then I went and tried the beach. Nothing worked. I'm like, I'm out of here. Fuck this. Tried.
Yeah. I never really got into it. Like I did a couple of like clear bobber and like,
Yeah.
little dry fly deal.
Yeah.
But even then I'm like, God, this is lame. I just like went to the little finger jig and it's like so wide open.
Yeah.
It was just like.
My buddy would do it from the beach for calico. He'd throw the bubble and then throw the fly out with the bubble, and red crab was around.
Oh yeah,
he'd fucking kill it on calico.
Dude, I think is it the Calico Syndicate guys that do that?
Oh,
like
they're crazy.
Dude, that stuff's gnarly.
Yeah,
you watch them like fishing the stuff up tight with a fly rod, just getting tooled. You're like, dude, how are you even getting how? Like
that's
how?
a cool video too. They have
you know what I'm talking about? That one's so rad.
That's from a long time ago.
Yeah,
too, right?
pretty long time ago.
Yeah,
and but it's rad. You're just like, think, you're like, dude, that was sick. These guys are no way. And it just opened your mind to a whole different side of it that you never thought of. And
it's only here. Calico is only going to be local, so it's kind of cool to see something different. I'm sure everywhere else is like, where the fuck are they doing? Yeah. What kind of bass is that?
Right? What's that weird checker thing? But serious. Calicos are so rad.
Let's talk more about your freshwater bass fishing, because you did a lot of tournament fishing too, right?
Yeah, I used to do a ton of it. Like I said, I did like a little mess around night tournament last year with a buddy.
Oh, did you? Was it at Diamond Valley?
But no, that was down in San Diego at El Cap.
Okay.
Because a couple of my buddies I still fish with, they all live down in San Diego. Okay. And I lived down in San Diego for a while with my pops. Mm-hmm. And I really like the San Diego fisheries a hell of a lot more than what we have up here.
Really?
Oh yeah. They're just.
Do you think it's more friendly, or just like the fish produce a little more?
You have way more choices down there.
Okay.
Like here, we don't really have shit. If you really think about it.
You don't like silver? Do you like silverwood?
Paris, diamonds, silverwood. Yeah, they're all cool. We used to camp there every weekend, but it's like, look what a mission it is to go all the way out to Silverwood. It's a trek to where like San Diego.
Any of them,
dude. Everything.
What lake would you do right now if you were going to have to go to Lake Paris?
It depends on what I wanted to do. Really? This time of year, I don't know.
Just because you live right by me, so I'm like, what lake should I hit?
Well, it depends on how you want to fish. Paris is definitely biting right now. Yeah. Diamond's biting right now.
Because those are the same. To me, that's the same drive.
They all are.
Skinner, same thing.
Skinner's a good lake too. It's like Skinner's a good lake when you have it to yourself. It doesn't like boat pressure at all. Mm-mm. Second you get a handful of boats on it, you're just like, nope. Yeah. Nope, not happening. Go home. Yeah. But I used to do a ton of tournament fishing. Like, got into that probably 2005.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bought my first boat like in 2004 from anglers from Rick and Kyle.
Oh, cool, man. And so you've known Kyle since then?
I've known Kyle a little bit before then, but yeah, that's kind of when I started. Oh. My uncle that passed away, he used to be a huge like Anglers Pro staff guy, and that's where he hung out. He was there all the time, and me and my uncle were tight, so I would go down there and
hang out with him.
He was the man, so I would go down there and hang out, shoot the shit, say hi to him, and
that's cool, man.
I didn't really fish with him that much at the time. I was fishing with my mom and my brother, so I would take my boat out to Diamond and bang around, and then I think that's kind of how we first started fishing tournaments, because he was like a huge tournament guy. And I went out there and I was catching a lot of big fish with my mom and my brother, and she was bragging on the phone to him one night about what we were doing. And he's like, put Johnny on the goddamn phone, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? And kind of told him what we were doing. And he's like, there's a tournament this weekend. You want to fish it? And I was like, oh, okay. You want to do tournaments now? All right.
Yeah.
So we did a tournament and went right to the spot, banged him out. We did, had like 22 something pounds, won that tournament. It was cool. I was like, oh, this is rad, like make some cash to go fish for the day. This is dope. Yeah. And he's like, oh, there's another one next weekend. And we did the same thing, went back and almost won that one. I think Alan Rex beat us out just barely on that one. Cool. Yeah. We got second on that one and kind of took it off from there, fished that circuit. We won Anglers a year that first year there. So that was kind of like, oh, all right. I went from like thinking I was fishing against all these like super gnarly pros, like intimidated to like,
I can keep up with them.
Like, what the hell? We won? Like you and I? Like, oh, that's a trip. So the second year, they give you free entries when you win Angler of the Year. Second year, we did the same thing. We had another good year. We won that year too. Mm-hmm. Third year, I was kind of getting over the tournament thing. That was his deal. I always like going out and just like fishing wherever I wanted to. Yeah. I hate having to be told like, hey, you got to fish here on October 18th. If you want to do any good, you're going to spend some time there before.
Got to pre-fish it.
So now all of October's tied up at this lake that I don't even really want to fish. Mm-hmm. I want to be over here doing this because this is going off right now. Mm-hmm. So now I'm obligated to be here. So I kind of explained that to my uncle, and he knows that I was kind of like into chasing trout plants and
Yeah.
trying to catch big fish and doing this and that. So he's like, oh, all right, we'll just cherry pick them. And the Wombass guys, they were kind of like, oh, we're going to switch it up. You know, we're going to switch it up next year. You guys are in trouble. We're going to do Paris and Diamond. And like, I just laughed. Like, looked at my uncle like, Paris, huh? And because like my dad and my uncle like fished that place since like opening day.
Paris.
So, yeah, since Paris.
So they know Paris.
Oh, dude, like they all like I said, I had our family had a boat. Both my grandparents had a boat. All my uncles had a boat, and they all were like tournament bass guys, like way back in the day. Back when there was only like 2 tournaments a year, cast stake, there used to be like 150 boats.
Yeah.
Like these gnarly like real tournaments. Now you have like it's so saturated, like you don't get the draws like you used to.
Yeah.
But I was raised fishing with all these dudes, and
so you did. That was nothing to you when they're like, "Hey, Paris too."
Yeah.
Did you fish then with
my uncle still? Yeah. And we rolled up that first event, and I actually didn't get a goddamn bite that day. My uncle caught 5 fish, and we won that tournament. You know, so it was kind of like everybody was like, "Oh, what the hell?" You know. And then that third year is like everybody started like rumbling. There was a lot of like crying, like so much drama in the green bass industry.
Really?
Oh, dude.
Just because you guys were winning?
Yeah. There's a lot of
that's so stupid.
People are weird. People started accusing us of stuff that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Like one time, this one guy was funny. Like I won't release names, but he's a guy who's kind of known. But he's sitting in the parking lot, and this was actually that first tournament we ever fished. He's sitting in the parking lot, and I'm like all nervous, and he's got his bag of fish. I see him run to his car, rip off his t-shirt, put on this big old jersey with all these like people on it and shit. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? I'm out there in board shorts and a flip flop and a t-shirt, you know? And he comes out there and I see him weighing his fish, and he had like 13 something pounds. I'm like, oh, the hell's he doing?
Yeah.
You know? And then we weighed in our fish. He's like, oh, those guys were dragging. And I looked at my uncle. I'm like, what the fuck's dragging?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he thinks we're on the trolling motor, like dragging around the Carolina rig. I'm like, dude, that's not even nowhere near what we did. And he goes, don't you tell him a word what we did. And luckily, there was this old dude at the time, Tom Phillips. He makes that pink stuff. I don't know if you've seen that boat cleaner. It's like
yeah. I used to use it all the time.
Tom Phillips pink stuff.
Yeah.
He happened to be like 100 yards down the way. And he's like, bullshit, I watched them put a smackdown first thing in the morning. Like,
yeah.
So he was there to have our back to like, it was just kind of like all this dumb shit like that. You know, it's like, I'm not into this, dude. There's like, I'm not into dick waving in the parking lot. I just want to go fish, dude.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even know what the fuck dragging was either.
Right?
People do that.
Dude, like, yeah, apparently they do. Like guys will like get a Carolina rig, cast it way the hell out and just get on the trolling motor and be like,
just wait for something to bite.
And just cover water, you know?
Is that cheating?
Hell yeah, it's cheating.
Why? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's... You got to like cast and retrieve your lure.
Oh, I know, but if you're just fishing for fun, would that be
no. You can go do that if you want.
Right?
Like,
I mean, if you want I just don't know. I don't know the rules or anything.
Oh, yeah. If you wanted to go around the lake and just mess around, you're like, yeah, dude, you could throw out a
It's like trolling, right?
Yeah, basically.
It's like trolling.
It's deep water trolling on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like bouncing it off of rocks or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds like some shit where you'd hang up a lot, honestly.
Well, right. To me, I'd be like, I wouldn't even try that. I'd lose it once and be like, fuck this.
Never my deal. But, we were actually fishing the triple trout at the time from Mark at Performance because we went in there and I used to work on boats back in the day. That's how I know Mark and all those guys from Performance, like back in the sand bass days. And I was down there. I'm like, dude, I'm fishing them out there just like the sand bass on the flats, dude. I'll throw out a little like 1 ounce swim bait and sink it out and start banging it. And he gave me this triple trout that wasn't out yet, this heavy one. He's like, go sink this out. And we were just sinking that thing out and just wrecking them. And people were...
When you're sinking it out, though, did you get caught up on?
Well, yeah. But sometimes
were you throwing braid then, or were you throwing...
No, I was throwing 20-pound Flora, but
really?
We had a little bait knocker, and I just spooled up like a little orange buoy with like a ton of 100-pound braid and like a little lure knocker, and they come right out.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
Well, most of the time.
Yeah.
But if you lose one, you're getting them for $80, and shit, I won like... You know, you won like $2,000 the weekend before on it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're like, I'll go
buy 10 of them.
Yeah, exactly, right? Fuck it. I'll go buy 4 more. If I break off 4 and we win, fuck. We're ahead. Yeah. You know, we're ahead. So whatever. And I don't know. Yeah, I need to crack the second one.
Let me know when you need a third one. I'll tell the beer lady to come out. Right. You have to drop it. I don't give a shit.
I got it right there. See that? But
so you weren't fishing any HUDs or nothing at the time?
Yes and no. I was, but it's like I said, back to the ADD, it's hard to sit there and that was one thing my uncle taught me, patience, because he is a dude where he will sit in one spot all day
until he gets that
and
bite.
just wait for the timing. He's like, oh, they're going to come through here at this time, this and that. Like, there's no need to run around. We just need to be on this spot right now. So we're not going to lose this spot.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like staking his ground for him. He wanted to make sure he's on that spot. He didn't want to go run around and come back and have some other dude sitting on it.
He knew he was going to bite.
Oh yeah. Dude, the dude was so savvy.
Yeah.
Like he was so savvy.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool too. After that first little swim bait phase went around, I would be like, all right, what other spots do you got around this lake?
Yeah.
Take me to a high spot in 25 feet of water. Yeah. And he's like, oh, there's a spot over here just like that, You're
making notes, mental notes.
Yeah. And he just, dude, the rest of that guy's soul. He was a really good fisherman, dude, and a really good dude.
Yeah.
But
well, that's well, hopefully
made a lot of fun, dude.
And he did hold the real lake record, right?
In my eyes, the real lake record in Diamond Valley, and still does.
Yeah.
But
how big was that?
1435.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 1465.
1465?
Yeah.
Wow.
60 feet of water.
What was it beat by? Like how much was the claim
I think
to be beat by?
It was like 1630 something or 40 something. Yeah.
You got him on your shirt at the milk cart.
Missing. I haven't heard from that guy lately. Like,
and you knew him too, right?
Yeah. I actually used to look just like most of us back in the day, looked up to him. He was the guy we all like strive to be. You're like, damn, dude, I want to know as much about bass as that guy does. Mm-hmm. That guy can go out and bang on them. And I actually used to talk to him a lot on the phone, way back in the day. And he taught me a ton. Like that's the trippy thing about all this. The dude is a super knowledgeable angler.
See, I've heard two stories. I've heard that some guys shit on him kind of. And then some guy goes, well, he kind of fucking knew what he was talking. Like, he'd give you advice and it'd work.
My opinion is just my opinion. It was one of those things where the dude was a super good fisherman. And it was...
Did you fish with him?
I never fished personally with him.
Okay.
No, we just talked on the phone. And I was honored to talk to him on the phone. Like, holy shit, Michael wants to talk to me. Like, this is crazy,
Yeah.
And he was the first dude that, like, I'm really into, like, lunar patterns and a lot of stuff with the moon. And... Mm-hmm. Largely because of him, like I had ideas and he's like, you're kind of on the right track. You need to do this and that. And he helped me out to where it gave me a good understanding. It wasn't just like, go here, catch
and it worked. Like,
dude, there's like certain things that definitely put you ahead of the game.
Wow.
And he knew him, like, which was crazy. So like he can go out and catch these fish when it's like, then when all that shit happened, it's like, dude, like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, he doesn't need to do this. He's already like, it was like his ego couldn't keep up with like the fishing ability.
That's crazy.
It's like he's a great dude and he knew how to catch all these big fish, but in order to get, I don't know, to appease sponsors or whatever, wasn't happening, I guess, at the frequency he wanted. So he kind of like took matters into his own hands. And like I said, it sucked because we all looked up to him, like, well, I shouldn't say we all. I looked up to him.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people looked up to him. I looked up to him and it just sucks because it was like a black eye for the sport,
It seems like you're a little more bummed about the whole sport thing too, like then being angry about the record of your uncle, you know what I'm saying?
That was like the thing about my uncle too. Like my uncle, like we all heard like rumblings of what supposedly happened.
Did he care much, your uncle, or not really?
He did, he tried to say he didn't, but he did.
Okay.
He was like, I never got anything but I didn't even get a goddamn cup of coffee for that fish. I don't care, He was more stoked on like catching the fish and the actual fish and like he caught that fish on 7-pound test.
What year was that?
It was 2003, I believe. 2003.
7-pound?
7-pound test. Fuck, drop shot, like 65 feet of water, way in the back of Awesome Cove, like when the water was way up.
Yeah.
Just think. Like I wasn't there. He was fishing with Mike Collins, this other dude that we know. And fought it. I was like, no way. Like, kind of.
Do you remember him calling to tell you that?
Oh yeah. We and him used to talk on the phone every single day, especially when we started fishing tournaments.
Yeah,
like every single day. And he was a big guy that always like kind of like poking fun at people, kind of taking shots, like joking. So we would sit on the phone and talk shit, And but he had this little stupid. I used to make fun of this little stupid pink worm that he loved, little morning dawn robo worm.
Yeah,
and that's what he caught that damn thing on. A little 4-inch pink worm, like 7-pound test, just. That dude was like an insanely good worm fisherman. And like touching back to what I said, he would sit in one spot all day. It finally made me slow down.
Was he big into drop shot?
Huge.
See, you know, my uncle sounds so funny. That's what his shit is. And he's 69. So it's like, I feel like those guys kind of like the drop shot was their shit then.
Yeah.
You know?
It was like kind of.
Right? Maybe. I don't know.
It was kind of like, it was kind of like cutting edge kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know? It was
and
like
so they
brand
got
new.
really fucking good at it.
And it was like, it was producing for him.
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, he was super, you know, the guy had such good feel. You know, I'd watch him and he'd just have all these little nuances and tricks he did. And he'd be like, dunk, dunk. Like, God damn, he's kicking my ass.
And you're over there trying to do it. And you're like, what the fuck, man? This shit's not.
And like I said, me like loving this, you know, I like the San Diego fisheries way more than up here. And I'm a big worm guy, you know, like I pour my own worms, jig trailers, all that stuff. So there's a big old JB Worms at the time. This is before I was pouring his worm. I didn't start pouring his worm until he passed away.
Okay.
Because like that's, dude, in my eyes, that's the best big worm around here.
He's your uncle's worm?
No, JB. It's like this JB Worms is a worm.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
It's a guy that passed away. It's a worm company from way back in the day.
Okay.
JB. He made this like 9-inch and 11-inch like curl tail that were just like dirty. They got bit, and his pores were like the cleanest pores at the time. And it just got bit.
Yeah.
So I was fishing. I like to always fish like big jigs, big swim baits, you know?
Yeah.
So like I was always out there trying to catch big fish. You know, I wasn't really necessarily a tournament guy. So we'd be sitting there seeing these spots. I'm like, Michael, you ever mess around with like big worms or anything out here? You always throw that lame ass 4-inch pink one, you know? And it was funny. One day he's like, no, I never have. And I was like, I ripped one out one day and we're sitting on this spot and it's like whack, whack. And he's like, give me one of those goddamn worms, you know? And he got known as kind of like as a big worm guy after that.
Oh,
you
did
know?
he go full into it? He's like, oh, this is my
dude,
shit now.
Because that was like his wheelhouse. He loved he loved offshore deep water structure fishing.
Yeah.
And he loved not moving. He loved waiting stuff out. He loved targeting the bigger fish. And that was just, it agreed so well with him.
Yeah.
So like I would go like JB, the dude that would pour those worms, he lived out in like Corona, and I would go hang out in the garage and watch him pour and take a freezer bag home of them and go, you know, drop them off at my uncle, you know, like, here, dude, like enjoy. Cause he was retired. He'd fished every day. And I'd be like, make sure we have enough for the tournament Saturday, you know, like
figure it out.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, just like, it was like a wind them up and set them up, you know, send them off. And, it was kind of cool. And, John, he moved to Tennessee and he passed away. He like slipped, hit his head on some ice and he was done.
Oh God, horrible.
Yeah. It was lame.
Yeah.
Like just out of nowhere. And like a dude I was close with that poured a bunch of lures, and I took a couple of his worms and molded them, you know, and like I think I got like fucking 100 of those molds now. Shit. And
you do a little bit of everything then, huh?
Like I said, dude, I got way too much. I pour my own lead, like weights, jigs, tie my own jigs, pour my own worms, pour my own jig trailers, pour my own swim baits.
Do you buy anything? Sometimes.
Yeah, I just bought you know, Scott Whitmer just came out with this new like V-cut rat that I didn't need. Like I make a rat and he just bought this he just came out with this rad new big ass rat as a V-cut.
Yeah.
I bought that thing and I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know, like I'll still buy like little niche stuff here and there, but for the most part, it's like I make it just because I want to catch fish on stuff I make.
Yeah.
You know, it has nothing to do with like, oh, I think it's better or all this and that. It's
do you
just
pour
like,
lead with the Lee pot?
Yeah, I got the little Lee production pot.
How the fuck do you? I put this on fucking Instagram the other night.
What?
Why I get it always fucking clogged up, so I'll heat it up. I can never get it to pour right after.
Really?
Yeah. What do you do?
You have the dial like 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
What's your dial setting at? Like,
fucking probably full blast.
Oh, really? That's too high. Like I always know I'm running like 7 or 8,
really?
But dude, I just have like these big old jumbo paper clips.
And just
and I have like the hot mill gloves. Yeah, and you have to take them on a pair of needle nose because I'm scared of like sticking my hand. At one time before, you know, you poke it. Oh shit, here it comes.
You're impatient as fuck, just trying to just get a long paper clip.
Oh, dude, and you'll feel it. Like you'll hear that resistance. You're like, what's that resistance? That's that little lever, you know, that you're holding. Yeah. They drop that pin down, so you lift it up and then just kind of clean it out. And you have to clean it out every so often, or you're gonna have whack pores.
Yeah, that's how
you'll have stuff. You'll be all stoked. You'll crack your little do-it mold open. You're like, what the fuck?
Fucking 2 pieces missing in the head.
Exactly. You're like, why does this rubber thing have
my fucking
bubbles,
lead,
dude?
Yeah,
pour it back in the pot. Let's try again. There's little tricks you can do too. Like I'll take a blowtorch and like heat it up before.
Heat the mold up, right?
Heat the mold up, you know, just to help like material like flow through it.
Do you make your own molds too?
Yeah. I mean, not the lead ones because that's like do it mold makes them so cheap these days. It's like, why even mess around with?
I don't know. I like making shit like that too, but I don't have the time. But usually I'd be like, I want to make my own lead head. You know, like our fucking.
Well, I kind of did that. You know,
Yeah.
I did that. Like I got super into like the calico fishing for on the coast thing.
Yeah.
And you know, calico is like everybody wants to fish a gigantic bait form and that works, but it's like they don't have the mouth that a largemouth has. So it's like that 5 to 7 inch offering is like wheelhouse for them. You know, they're gonna eat it. You're gonna get a better hookup ratio. But the problem with all the 5-inch baits is nobody makes an EWG like currently heavy enough. You know, to fish it fast. I like to fish fast and cover water, like the polar opposite of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's like you're having the bait pop out of the water. So like I took this 2-part like putty mold shit. And,
I know what it is.
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I took that and I kind of just like put it around the actual like keel of the EWG that I was using and just made it kind of like the same shape, but wider. And I was like, oh, that should be about the right weight. And then I would mold it and then pour my own just EWGs there. So I'd have like a little 1 ounce 5/0.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Take another head and be like, man, it looks the same.
Well, you can like kind of like the keel of it, you know, like the EWG, like you can kind of just match it, you know, like sand it down, clean it up all gangster and just pour it. Like I have little 5-inch baits that I could run super fast on the harbor. And like, there's this little spot, there's a little stretch like right here in Long Beach Harbor where I catch weedless fish, you know, like in the harbor. It's rad, you know, and like you'd be sitting there fishing lobster or something. Like, let's go do a little run, dude. Do a little run and burn the weedless through it. It's fun.
Did you go out lobster fishing already?
No, I haven't, dude. Not yet. No. I don't normally like to go until like November because it's such like a shit show in the beginning.
Right now.
I mean, you know, it's madness, dude. Like we went out trying to mess with those bluefin last week and we got back to the dock on Saturday. You know, we left like Thursday, got back Saturday. And it was just comical. Like anything that floats is out right now with a stack of hoops on the bow. You know, dude. And it's like, it's gale force that night and you're looking like this one dude, like I felt bad. Like I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, you know, like, hey, where you guys going tonight? You know, just trying to be friendly. And he's like, oh, we're thinking of like, you want to go over to Catalina to get some bugs? I'm like, hey, it's gale force tonight, dude. You check the wind, you know? Like politely, you didn't want to be like, hey, you're a kook, you know? Yeah. It's like, no, I didn't even look at the wind. I was like, you're going to be hooping the wall if you're lucky, dude. You know, you'll probably be tucked into like Pier F or Pier J or something realistically, you know? Yeah. But it's just a trip. Like in the beginning, there's so many like clueless people running around. And
I know. I've
just over it. Yeah. And then like I've put a lot of time into the harbor the last like 6 years. So I got some spots that kind of always produce.
For lobster?
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll eat the lobster out of the harbor?
No. I only eat them from like
outside
Catalina.
the harbor.
Yeah. But I mean, they taste good. A couple people in my family like them.
Don't give a shit. They'll eat them.
They don't give a shit, dude. They eat them. I have buddies that don't give a shit. They're like, this is the best lobster ever. I'm like, fucking more power to you, dude.
I'm not eating that shit. They're fucking third-eyed.
No, dude. Like the ones that I like, it's so funny because like the way we package them now, like I used to vacuum seal them, but I went and bought a bunch of these little, I don't know, like the little cheapy ass Tupperware rectangles, you know? Yeah. And you just put them in there like yin and yang, fill it up with water, overflow it, put the lid back on it, stack it in the freezer, and it freezes solid like Encino Man steez, you know?
Encino Man.
You know, and they're easier to stack in the freezer. And the ones over from the island, I'll put like a star on them, so I know. Like, these ones are cool to give out to the people you like. You know, like
these are the assholes that keep messaging.
These ones that over here, I want lobster. I'm like, fucking come get some, dude. You know, like trade you some lobster, dude. Here you go. These are lobster bucks. These are the eaters. You know, and honestly, the harbor stuff, it's fun, but I have more fun fishing the harbor at night. Yeah, like there's so many times when like I've taken buddies out there and we've set the traps, and you're supposed to pull them every 2 hours, and we're just like. Get lost in the back, banging fishing, on spotties. Fucking hope nobody stole them. Hope nobody stole the gear. You know,
I'm sure like, that happens a lot too, huh?
Oh, dude, we have like, people. Not to me, thankfully. Yeah, you know, but people. Yeah, people.
One time I seen a diver's head. I said this before. I was at one of the islands fishing at night. I used to do it a lot, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that, dude?" And I seen this head pop up. Bloop. Go back down. Bloop. I was like, "You piece of shit." No lights, nothing. Picking, and I'm like, you're going fucking hoop to hoop.
Cherry picking everybody, dude. And
what a cock.
Who's a good at that is like, not poaching, but diving is Mayhew, dude. Jerry.
Oh, I just seen a post he put up.
Dude, that guy is so
He's
fishy,
like, it's fun, way more fun to dive than to.
I used to surf before I got all fat and had a kid, dude, all the time. So it's like, he's like, dude, you need to hop in the water and dude, you'll never hoop again. You know, because he knows how crackhead I am with stuff that I'll get way into it. Oh. And like, that dude's such a madman, dude. He's such a fishy bastard,
Yeah.
especially at that island. Like,
Yeah.
especially that front side of that island. Like, the dude knows the whole island, but
Did you fish against him ever in freshwater?
Not against him,
No.
but like he was a big Lake Mission Viejo guy, and a dude I fish with like religiously, like a brother to me, is this guy Chris Bonaparte.
Yeah.
And I know him through Chris.
Okay.
Chris was a Mission Viejo guy, Lake Mission Viejo guy.
Yeah.
And I know him for Jerry, and Chris kind of knows everybody. You know? Like he just kind of is like my go-between between everything. Like Chris knows this guy, Chris knows that guy, you know, like super savvy dude, like younger than me. It's crazy. Like,
yeah,
he's like one of the smartest fishermen I've ever met.
Damn.
Like he's insane. Like he's a fucking incredibly fishy dude.
You've known him for a long time?
Known him for a long time. I met him back. He used to work at Anglers Marine back in like 2005.
Okay.
And back then I used to smoke a lot of weed, I guess, so to speak. And we won a tournament diamond, and I'm in there just smoked a shitload of weed on the way to the tackle shop, ready to fucking buy a shitload of tackle.
Yeah.
And this is a funny story how we met. He walks up to me and he's in there. He's like, "You smell fucking good," you know? And I'm just like, "I fucking always smell good, buddy." And we hit it off, and we fished together. Then from like, it was like, fuck, he was like a brother. I talked to the guy multiple times a day. He called me just right before here. You know, he's
that's cool, man. To have buddies like that too.
Dude, that dude is just like, you losing track just thinking how fishy that dude is. That dude is like just so savvy. But
everything like you too? Does he like fishing everything?
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah. Like he's super geeked on the big tuna right now. I'm like, how could you not be?
Yeah.
You know, like the shit we got going on right now. They're crazy. But super into everything. But I mean, he's from salmon up at the Klamath, you know, to fucking green bass, to spotties, to giant. The guy even caught wahoo off of Dana, you know, like he's just a fishy kid, you know, he's rad. Like he's just a good dude too. Like a really, really good dude.
That's cool, really, man. Really good dude. No guys like that. Did you, did you get really hard into calico too for a while?
Yeah, that, like, try and make that as short as possible. You'd be here all night. Like,
what year was that when you got like really into calico?
Like probably 2005. Like I said, I used to fish
pretty early then too. Calico was before everyone was kind of doing it. Maybe
no. I kind of like I grew up fishing green bass a ton. You know, like my family had boats. We would go camping every weekend, everywhere, and just go fish. And around 12, I was about 12, so it's what, like 92, 93. That's when like the local sand bass thing out on the flats really took off. Like really went crazy. My parents were like, "Oh, we're gonna go salmon." You know, we were count chasers, dude. You know, the sand bass were biting. We went, and like where was I going with this one? Oh, we went out there and
you're talking about the calico.
No, I know the calico. I'm like, where the hell did I get to this from that? But the calico thing, like I know because that's right, because of beak.
Yeah, that's. I think you're gonna get into that.
That's what I was
part.
gonna get. That's where I was going with this. That's right. That's right.
So let's say who you're talking about.
Yeah, Eric Landisfein, dude, super fishy dude. Like another super fishy dude.
Yeah.
And Chris was working. You know, I fished green bass forever. Super into tournaments. My uncle passed away on Havasu, like super unexpectedly. It messed me up. I fished literally every day of my life, like whether it was a park pond or anything. And like for 6 months, I didn't even fish because I couldn't.
What year was that when you stopped fishing? When your uncle passed?
2013.
Was it?
Yeah, for like 6 months, I didn't fish, you know? And then I had a couple buddies get me into this like sport boat stuff. Like it was kind of like freshwater bass fishing was kind of like me and my uncle's thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it was hard to enjoy fishing at the time because everything was so connected and everything. So I had a buddy, we started running up and down the coast from like Oxnard to San Diego, hopping on sporties, chasing counts, trying to catch fish.
Yeah.
And it's just back in, I forgot where I was going with that too.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, Landisfein. Boney, you know, Bonaparte. He was at the MC booth, you know, at that time. I bought a skiff right around then, and Chris was at the MC booth at Fred Hall. He's like, "Hey, come down and hang out." You know? Yeah. And we go down there and we hang out, and he's getting busy. I don't want to interrupt him because he's sitting there working, helping customers and stuff. And Corey from MC is super cool dude. So I didn't want to like impede on their program at all. And I look over and I'm looking at, you know, at the time, it's like I didn't know him yet, but it was like Koch and then Eric was standing there, and I'm looking, I'm like, when I used to work on boats, he used to be a regular on one of them. And I'm like, that looks like the fucker that used to come on the sharpshooter and fucking torture me every day, you know?
That sounds like him.
You know? So I walk up to him, I'm like, hey, you know, did you used to go on the sharpshooter a lot? You know? And he's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, you remember that little kid that you guys used to throw in Nacho's receiver all the time? And like that's me. He's like, oh, no way. So he had a 17-foot Blazer Bay. And he's like, what have you been up to? And I kind of told him like what happened with my uncle and everything. He's like, oh, you know, come on, I'll take you up to Palos Freeze. We'll go calico fishing. So I kind of had a front row seat for one of the guys that like knows exactly what's up. So we're going up there, and like the first like half an hour or so, he's just beating the shit out of me. I'm like, what is he doing? You know? And I'm like, and then I finally start like watching what he's doing and start trying to mimic a little. And I'm catching fish, and he's like, oh, it was kind of tough today. I was like, fuck, we had like 20 fucking fish. What are you talking about?
Not you used know? To that.
Yeah, I'm used to green bass fishing. Like going out I go for a month of like, oh, I saw 3 followers this month. Now I know where they live. I'm going to get them next month. And now he's like, oh, it was a slow day. And I'm like, dude, I can get used to this, you know? So my brother was working at a boat dealership at the time. I picked up a boat, and just, it was like calico, like nonstop, you know.
For how long?
And honestly, until like the yellows showed up at the 150, and then
really?
That was like the whole, like a whole different thing.
Is it the same boat you have right now?
Yeah. Like before that whole deal even took off, like I was all about calico fishing and then going out and loading up on cod. And we were fishing. We would just start like up around the corner, do the whole milk run down to Furman, and then run the reef out to like, you know, the southeast bank, and then just load up on cod, and hopefully before the wind blows, and then we go in. And it's probably like, I don't know, March. It was like before the whole 150 madness, but we're running from Furman outside to the kelp, or to the cod zone, and it's like we come across just like yellows up foam, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, tying a surface iron real quick, throw it out. So we used to do that back on the boat back in the day. I'm like, no way, dude, this is like being in Mexico. And we started just like lighting them up. Like there was nobody around. We were just banging on them, and that's when it was like, well, fuck calicos when this is going on, you know, like these things pull hard as shit. And it's like, I still love calico fishing still to this day. Like we'll go every like kind of March through April and kind of assess the coastal kelp. Yeah. And kind of get a lay of the land for what we're going to do that spring. Yeah. And then go fish. And so I kind of got away from calico fishing when that happened, because then it was like, oh, I'm going to geek out on yellows. And then there was tuna out front, and went from that to tuna fishing. And like we still calico fish from time to time, but then it's like I really enjoy it. But it's like the ocean to me offers like so much more out there. You know, it's like,
especially with your boat, right? I mean, you could get there.
Yeah, I can get and do all sorts of stuff. Like, and right now we've had like a special time to where it's like calicos are always going to be there. You know, they ain't going anywhere. They live on the goddamn break wall. You know, they're not going anywhere. So.
Those bluefin is different, huh?
Dude, that bluefin thing that's going on now, like those big fish showed up like 5 years ago, and shit up until like 8 years ago, like much like everybody else, like I had like my personal best was like a 65 pounder. Wow. Which was like rad back in the day, you know, you're like, dude, that was a good one. Yeah. Like super proud of my 65, you know, and like now it's like, this is just madness. Like I remember the first couple of times we came across those fish, we were like just out there just messing around. Like about 5 years ago when it first showed up, we're out there chasing the yellowfin around, and dude, it's like madness. I remember we came out like by the Mac Bank, there was just fish as far as the eye can see up. And we have like a biggest rods, like a, you know, 40 pound setup, you know? Yeah. So we throw on these fish, we hook one, dude, we're on it for like 4 hours. Fuck. Break it off. They're still up, put on another bait, hook it, fucking fought that one for like 3.5 hours, broke that one off. Now it's dark. We're like, what the fuck? This fish just owned me. Like these things were up high and dry. Like I could killed so many. Like, and that was just like a whole, that sparked, you know.
Do you wrap your own rods too or no?
Not yet. You know,
like the next thing.
Performance. They just wrap everything for me. You know, like easy. Tommy. Like I've known Tommy since he used to work on one of the boats that I worked on, and since I was a little shit, you know, same thing. He used to. So it's like I always go to those guys to wrap my stuff, dude. They're the best. Yeah. But I definitely. He's even asked me. He's like, "You want a rod wrapper? You want a rod wrapper?" You know, like because he'll have like ones laying around, and I'm like,
he'll know you tweak out on it. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, oh, I want it, but fuck, dude, I got so much going on. I don't know how much room I got left in my garage, because it's just wall to wall fishing shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
damn.
but not yet. That's like probably the last frontier for me is rod wrapping.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't really need to mess with it because Tommy and those guys, like I said, are so goddamn good at it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
True. Yeah, it's like if you just feel like you could do some other stuff a little better, so that's why you kind of.
Yeah, I wouldn't think I could wrap a rod better than Tommy ever, so I wouldn't even mess with that.
Exactly.
But the only thing is now, like, I'm so hard on my gear. Like, he always tells me, like, I broke another rod. Like, I broke 4 rods this spring, like, pulling on sea bass and the kelp. And then, like, I'm always popping guides off his shit. And I got a pile, and he's like, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. And I never do. I never remember. Like, I just fucking ripped the guide off a 7400 XH on this last trip. And I sent him a text like, hey, fucked another one up. The pile grows, So it'd be cool to know how to wrap a rod so I didn't have to go and bother him.
Or just repair guides.
That's what I mean. Just I have to go bother him to like take time from like wrapping somebody's rod they built to fix a fucking single guide for me, like.
Makes sense.
So it'd be cool to know it to do that, but I'm still not into it. Not yet. Like, who knows?
So you've always been a performance guy then. That's kind of like.
Well, anglers and freshwater, I was really into anglers, but even then, like performance, I've known those guys forever. They're probably one of my favorite shops around. Like that's all I kind of go to now. Like their
performance.
Yeah. Like I'll take the kid into Angler's Marine because he loves watching them feed the green bass and hauling me. He loves climbing all over the boats, but it's like, for me, I don't tournament bass fish anymore. That's kind of like a tournament bass fishing headquarters for the most part. Yeah. Like there's a couple of performance guys that are real good though, like David Valdivia, like Joe Uribe Jr. Like those guys are so good. Like Little Joe, I don't know if you know.
No, I know who he is. Yeah,
dude, like that guy is.
Isn't his sister fish too?
Yeah,
yeah.
But Little Joe's like around here. He's the guy who I kind of looked up to. Like
really,
Little Joe's the man. Him and his dad, like always, just like so fishy. They're always on him, dude. So it's like. It's not willy-nilly with guys like that. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. They're into it. And I kind of, I guess now I kind of just hang out at performers like Curtis over there at Performance, and I fish with him a ton. Yeah. And it's like everybody there that I know, like Joe, I've known Joe forever, like back when he was at Fisherman's and down in Huntington and walking around Woodbridge and stuff like that, But I love all this Mark and like Mark's.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get him on this
Mark's
month.
Just, dude, I don't know if you have enough memory. That guy is like so fishy. Like he's just knowledgeable about everything. Yeah. Like any direction you want to go. Yeah. Like you want to go catch a trout in the Sierras, he'll dial you exactly in. You want to go here, anything. Dialed me in on the triple trout back in 2005 when I was telling him like what I was doing out at Diamond. And he's like, oh dude, like that's cool, but do this, and I did that. And I was like, oh dude, like what? So like I said, that first tournament that he helped me out with and we won it, I felt obligated. I went down there and had him make me a couple swim bait rods. I'm like, here, dude, like thank you.
Let me know what to do next.
Yeah, like thank you. Like that was rad. Like you don't need to do that. Like especially in the green bass world. Like everybody's so secretive. And Mark's like the polar opposite. Yeah. Like he will just dial you right in.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. And it's rare. Like me and him talk a lot now. Like the main thing me and him, we used to rap a lot about green bass and patting. Now me and him, harbor lobster.
Dude, he is so into it. Like I go in there and
harbor lobster.
He'll talk about it. He'll be like, yeah, just like getting a sandwich and driving around looking for new spots.
Well, because I got the structure scan in the skiff, and he's got his skiff like insanely dialed. Yeah. So me and him rap about stuff we see and stuff we find and our quote unquote theories of what the hell they're doing. And it's like, the more that we learn, it's just like, we don't know what the hell we're talking about, like these things are just, they're kind of like cattle that just like move around and graze, and it's like, especially in the harbor where they don't really have like a predator, like outside of the break wall, everything else smokes those things, or, big calicos, sheephead, like whatever, like those things aren't preyed upon in the harbor. No, they're free roaming. They have nothing to be scared of. So like,
that's where you can kill them.
And it's like, well, at the same time, they're so spread out that way, to where as opposed they'll hide in like reefs and rocky structure, other places. Cause if they venture too far away from that, they're a snack, so it'll kind of congregate them in areas where you can bang on them. Yeah. But in the harbor, it's like crazy. Dude, there's so many nights where it's like, I got this. And it's like looking at the conditions. I'm like, oh dude, we are just going to smoke them on Wednesday. Cannot wait to get up there. And don't catch a single one. You're just like, well, there goes all that shit, you know, but
it's fishing though, right?
Yeah. You know, if it was easy, nobody would do it. But,
yeah, exactly.
But like, it's sort of, yeah, well, I mean, the point is he's so diverse.
I
like,
agree.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like from park fishing. It's like, you want to go talk about catching gigantic fish, he'll dial you in. You want to go talk about a float and fly, you know, he'll dial you in. Like, he's just,
do you kind of tweak out on your boat too? Like customize your boat a lot too?
I don't think I could fit anything else on my skiff.
Oh, you got everything on.
Oh, dude, I got like 4D little sonar for like you can get the regular radar, the 4D one.
Yeah.
I want the 4D one so I can like try and pick up birds. You know, I got like a dual chirp transducers with structure scan. Like on our bait tank, or we have 2 bait tanks on a 20-footer. The main bait tank, like we had it foam filled up until the water line. So there's 0 slosh with a lid, kind of like how they store fuel, you know? So like, you name it. It's got outriggers, you know, like
everything you need.
Yeah. Like I saw Decker like catch, you know, that Stoked on Fishing episode where I'm like, dude, that is so rad. Like I want to go do that. So I went and bought outriggers and I ain't caught shit. You know? I haven't caught a billfish yet, but that's like, I will catch a billfish in that skiff. Hopefully.
Next on the list.
Well, I want to, it's just, I'm not gonna. Well, this wasn't really a really good billfish year, really either. You know, everybody's like a swordfish guy this year.
You caught swordfish?
No. I might actually go do it this weekend. You know, like, just why not?
Depending
it's one
on
of
the
those
weather
things.
too,
Like,
huh?
well, the weather's like rad this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be rad, so it would be good. And it's one of those things like, don't really want to like go out there and be the swordfish are boring. I'm gonna go catch a swordfish. You know. But
you don't want to be the meme?
Yeah, right. But at the same time, it's like, dude, there's a shitload here. And it's like, why not go try and catch one?
Yeah.
Like, how rad would that be to go get a fucking swordfish out of the little boat, you know? So I've actually been waiting around lately, but it's like, so much of the different gear you need to. And it's like, I don't want to sit here and wind up shitloads of line by hand, you know, and
deep
like
dropping,
you know, and there's like electric reels for it. I have like, you know, electric kite reels, but that doesn't have the drag to like handle that stuff. So
they do a lot of that back east, right?
Yeah,
electric reel shit.
Oh yeah. Like that's where like I just started looking into that, you know, because I was like, am I going to do it? And I was like, well, the East Coast guys, you know, they're real good at that. You know, a bunch of small boat deep droppers. So all these guys that are trying to catch fish right now, it's like. Pay attention to what those East Coast guys do. Those
they'll
guys,
show you.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
like that's another thing we talked about too. Like I'm surprised it's taken this long for this to like catch on here.
Yeah,
you know, it's Southern California. It's like everybody's right here.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's like how did this take so long to catch on? You know,
you got me, dude.
Right?
You got internet now. It should be fucking instantaneous.
Yeah, you would think. You know, but it's crazy. Might go do that. There's also the air show this weekend down in Huntington.
Oh, yeah.
And the Grom loves that, dude. We always go and like
take him out on the boat and hang out.
Yeah, drop the pick out there and get snacks. The planes fly overhead and he just loses his shit. So that's rad too.
That sounds fun, dude.
But like I told my buddy, I'm like, we could do it locally Sunday and watch the air show. It wouldn't be so goddamn lame. It's just sitting there watching the rod tip. But, you know, who knows?
Yeah. Well, dude.
Probably won't do it.
Sounds like my life. Thanks for coming on, bro. It's been a fun podcast.
Where's dude?
Right around the corner too. It's even cooler, man.
Oh, dude, yeah, I was laughing when I put the address in. I was like, oh shit, this guy's literally right around the corner.
What's your Instagram? People want to check out some of your shit, like your rats or anything like that.
What the hell is my Instagram? I don't even know. It's like just John Curry. It'll come up, you know.
And
like I said, I'm not really trying to sell them. It's kind of just whatever.
If they want to see some cool shit you make, though, you know. What I'm saying?
Check it out. Yeah, it's on there. I throw it on there. I like to get in the garage and
tinker,
dick around, make everything.
Yeah,
you know, like literally.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
No worries, dude.
All right, guys. Till the next one.